You could see where Iron Man is coming from if you watched previous movies. And the same goes for Cap.
Effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer division.
This isn't freedom. This is fear.
Superman dislikes Batman's vigilante approach, despite doing this in the end of Man of Steel.
I'm here to help, but it has to be on my own terms.
So which murderer will the audience root for? The vigilante who kills criminals indiscriminately? Or the vigilante that causes massive destruction, causing massive death indiscriminately? Zemo wants the Avengers to be destroyed, and his motivation can be understood. When Sokovia crashed, it destroyed Zemo's family. You understand where he's coming from and why he wants to kill Iron Man and Captain America. We have Lex Luthor.
Why did he want to kill Superman?
Mr. Bibb says Lex Luthor hates Superman because he is all good and all powerful, which Lex can't stand. Where do you get that?
And now the Get away! Get back! Free. Characters that are consistent. Civil War is the 13th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You've got a whole cast of characters you've seen in different movies. The straight-laced Captain America, the billionaire genius philanthropist, red-headed hotties, or the black sidekick. There's someone here for everyone. Not only that, the characterization has been consistent. Cap is a goody two-shoes above all else. While he respects authority, if he has to do something right, he'll do it. Iron Man has a guilt complex, that's why he wants to be a hero, to redeem himself. So when you hear Tony say,
We need to be put in check. Whatever form that takes, I'm game.
and Steve reacts with,
I know we're not perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
you can say, oh, that's consistent. They've done that for the past movies. I get it. Is the consistency perfect? No. Iron Man has consistently ignored his team and does whatever the fuck he wants. And Cap has consistently reminded him that they need to work together. In Batman vs. Superman, you've got characters that are thoroughly inconsistent in their characterization in that one movie. Batman is smart and a good detective when they want him to be. Superman is godlike when they want him to be. Remember how Batman can be sneaky and investigative? The scenes where he infiltrated the underworld were pretty great. Now, how about the scene where Lex Luthor blows up Congress using Bruce's former employee? Here is the scenario. You're Bruce Wayne, you have a meeting, suddenly the TV opens, and you see that for a congressional hearing calling out Superman's bullshit, you see your former employee suited up in a brand new wheelchair. The movie is logical at this point. He goes, why is he there? How about the checks we're sending him? It turns out that these checks were being sent back to Bruce Wayne with red ink stating you failed your family. The question is, why would Bruce get mad? Wouldn't his detective senses go, let me think about this. My old employee's on Congress, suited up with a new wheelchair. Why does he look like that? He's been sending these checks back to me. He'd be poor as fuck. That doesn't make any sense. Something's up. Who set them up with this? Lex? Lex Luthor did this? Maybe Lex Luthor is pulling the strings? On Superman's end, how about when Lex takes Martha hostage? Superman panics and he asks Lex where she is. But earlier, when Lois was falling down a 500-story building, Superman came from nowhere and saved her. How come Superman can't use his super detecting skills to find his mom? The thing he did in the beginning of the movie when Lois was surrounded by terrorists and minutes before Lex put his ultimatum to Superman. Oh! There is seriously no reason for Superman not to try to find his mother. Let me walk you through it. Last time we saw Superman, he was moping with Ghost Dad in the Fortress of Solitude. If you remember, in Man of Steel, the fortress was actually the ship which the government took and gave to Lex Luthor at this point in the movie. So maybe he goes back to where it was for nostalgia purposes. It makes sense since he hallucinates his father when he gets back there. The Fortress of Solitude can be found in Ellesmere Island. The reference point I used to get to Ellesmere Island is New York City, since the internet told me that New York is near Metropolis. There is no straight route to get to Ellesmere Island from New York. So for the sake of argument, let's just compute the distance from the island to New York. That's 2,769 miles. Since Metropolis is south from New York, let's say that the distance from Ellesmere Island to Metropolis is 2,850 miles. The average speed of a commercial airliner would be 500 knots, or 546 to 575 miles per hour. Let's get the fastest speed and use that to compute the time it would take to travel from Ellesmere Island to Metropolis. That would be 4.956 or 5 hours. How long did it take Superman to travel from Ellesmere Island to Metropolis? 2 minutes? 3 minutes? Even less than that, I think. So you expect me to believe that Superman, given how fast he is, can't take the time to find his mother, kill every one of those hostage takers, and then find Lex's helicopter and blow it the fuck out? He can find his mom in the blink of an eye. If he knew the precise location of Lois while he was in the North Pole, he can certainly find his mom. There is only one reason for making Superman go along with this bullshit, and for Batman becoming a stupid fuck all of a sudden. The movie needed the fight. You know, this one in the title. They needed the fight in Civil War too, but at least they handled it more intelligently. These are the things the characters can do. The writers gave them that, and they worked with what they have. In the other film, the writers gave them these powers, these abilities, and when it counts, they took it away from them. And these are not minor mistakes. These mistakes set up the final fight. If Superman remembered that he had the power to find his mother faster than you can say, fuck this garbage movie, then he wouldn't have to fight Batman. If Batman took the time to breathe and realize how improbable it was for his employee who has no resources to get to Congress without any outside support, then he wouldn't have been motivated enough to steal the kryptonite and call Superman out. And why would Batman be mad at Superman when even the news reports say that the explosion was caused by the bomb in your employee's wheelchair that has "it's a goddamn setup" written all over it? Why are you stupid? You've shown us you're smart. Why are you stupid? Number 4. Sting Me. What is a stinger? Like its namesake, it's at the end of the film. It's a shot done for fun.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.
Or to set up a sequel.
But I can tell you one thing, and it's a bit of a secret. For the sequel, we're gonna have cable.
If you're going to set up a sequel starting from a new narrative thread, it makes sense to do it at the end of the film. Everything is over, you could start a new plot. And Marvel has become known for doing these sorts of things in their movies.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Well, I guess that's worth a look.
DC did the thing. I would call it how not to do a teaser.
That would have been a neat setup, but then it was a dream.
Well, you said clever hints at movies to come. This movie has hints of movies to come, but there's nothing clever about any of it.
And there won't be any movies to come.
There was this whole sequence in the middle of the movie with Batman in the desert wearing a cool trench coat fighting Superman and his army. And it does nothing. It's a stupid teaser in the middle of the movie since it ruins the flow of the story. Imagine this. You are watching your favorite TV sitcom. Or at least it was until they turned everything to shit. But that is another tale for another time, children. The plot goes along in this particular episode, and the protagonist suddenly sits down, watches TV. There's a good length of time devoted to him just watching the channel. It shows cool things happening, but it does nothing to the plot. And then he turns off the TV and the show goes on like nothing happened. That is what they did. Batman looks cool, Superman looks cool, but it is utterly pointless since it adds nothing to the story. They should have put it in the end of the movie. Wonder why they didn't do it. Nope, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't do it. Oh, but it's a dream sequence. I hear you defend it. If it is a dream sequence, it has to have a consequence in the film you're watching. Flash appears at the end of the dream, saying that Lois is the key to all of this. It's useless since Lois is never important in this movie. In fact, she does something stupid at the end of the film.
Lois Lane, for no reason, takes the staff, the kryptonite staff, and she throws it in some water. And then Batman says, in an unrelated scene in a completely different area, I need that staff back.
Yes.
And then they cut to Lois Lane, and she goes back to get the staff that she just threw in the water. She just knows that they need the staff back?
Yes.
So she has to immediately go back and get the staff that she just threw in the water, that she doesn't know.
And if it's a warning, it doesn't make sense. She's never in danger because Superman keeps saving her. Do we have to go through this all over again? Fuck. If George Lucas knew that in Revenge of the Sith and you did not, you fucked up. I can do a better stinger than Batman vs. Superman.